Hi everyone, it's Nicole. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to talk about the magic of vellum. I am a huge vellum fan and it can be used in the most simple way to create a stunning muted look. We are going to be using lots of brand new products from Papertrey ink, fairly new, I guess I should say. These are actually from the December release, but I think they could be used anytime. This is what I would call Valentine's release, but as everyone who has been here on my channel knows, I think hearts are a good idea at all times. So we are going to go all in on the hearts, but go with a color palette that I think really would work for any time. So we are going to start our card today. I've temporarily taped one of these stencils from the Happy Hearts stencil combo to a 4 1/4 by 5.5 inch background. And we are going to use Carnation Positively Saturated ink from Simon Says Stamp to color in the initial heart design. What I love about this stencil set is that half of the stencil, you can stencil half of the heart, pardon me, and then you take the second stencil and you stencil the other half of the heart in a contrasting or complementary color. I love this stencil set. So for the other half of the stencil, I dipped into a different trio of positively saturated ink, and we are going to use Taffy. So this is more of what I would consider a purplish magenta type of card. These two colors are going to be the main colors I use throughout the entire card design. Now, I kind of accidentally got my ink a little darker in some areas than others, and that's okay, because once the ink dries, yes, those hearts will be a little bit darker, but it's going to smooth out and be a lot less in your face than it is right here. Now, I went ahead and took some Cocktail Party Mica stain from Tim Holtz and spritzed it over the background. It goes on pretty dark, but as this dries and absorbs into the cardstock, it's going to mute just a tiny bit, and you're going to get that beautiful shimmerish spray. Now, as I was looking at my background, I felt like I needed more color. And to be fair, I had already die cut my vellum heart and laid it over my background, which kind of gave me the direction. So normally I would have ink blended first and then applied the mica stain, but you can see that it works this way too, which is good to know. So there is my heart. I love that. I think that looks really good. This heart is from another product from that December Papertrey ink release called Love to Layer Hearts. I love it. I love the Love to Layer. And I did die cut the XO heart, look how cute that is, from white cardstock. Now this is cute. It's cute with the heart on top of the vellum, right? However, I think it's going to be a little bit cuter back behind the vellum. We're also using another new product from that December release, the Into the Blooms Fun Flowers. These are gorgeous. I die cut these from some white cardstock, and then I'm going to layer them or ink blend them and layer them together. So again, I didn't go crazy and go out on a limb with different colors of ink. We're going to use the Carnation and Taffy for the layering pieces. And then we are going to pull some greens for the stems and the leaves. But everything is very monochromatic. I tend to be a pretty monochromatic card maker for most things. And I really think it's going to look great. So part of the magic of vellum is not only it going to mute the background, which is pretty busy, but it's also going to allow those flowers to really take center stage once we get everything put together. The green colors I'm using here are sage for the stems and then sage and pine for the leaves. And I'm going to work just a little bit at a time. I am also working on my Simon Says Stamp glass mat. I absolutely love this. I have a little rubbing alcohol in a spray bottle, and then I use a microfiber cloth to just wipe that clean, and it just cleans up so well. It's really my go-to right now for stenciling and any kind of ink blending or anything like that, just because it is so quick and easy to clean. It's a nice small size, so I can tuck it like underneath on the shelf underneath my desk where I stand and work very easily. I really highly recommend it. I love it. And here are my leaves. And it's about this point, I honestly, I was a little worried. So I want to talk about something I get asked about a lot, is inspiration and how do you make so many cards? And there is definitely an ebb and a flow to creativity. And I talk about this when I am asked during lives and things, that I try to be creative in all aspects of my life. Even if I'm not making cards, I have other hobbies. And I think that that definitely helps keep that creativity or that creative bug going. I was having a little bit of a, I hate to say burnout, but just kind of needed to step away from card making for a few days. And so when I came back, this was one of the things I made when I came back. And I was super worried when I made the background that I wasn't going to love it. And I have to tell you guys, I made this card in about an hour and 15 minutes. And I ended up loving this card so much. It jump-started my creativity. I used a lot of elements of things that I already know that I love to do. If you ever are struggling to make a card, take a card that you've made and loved, a design, or one that you see another person, another designer or a YouTuber create, and use that as your jumping off point, or lift it all together to get that creativity going again. And this card definitely pulls different elements from things that I've done recently and enjoyed, or even in the past and enjoyed, while still allowing me to do some things kind of different. I love doing the stenciled backgrounds. I love the splatter. I like vellum hearts, and I like them shifted over to the right. I know this about myself. And so that was kind of the jumping off point. And then layering on some of the different elements and things like that was a perfect finishing touch. I'm layering on my floral pieces, just doing a little glue, using tweezers to help hold those in place. They do line up pretty easily. And then we are going to start putting it all together. I have not attached anything yet. Now you can see that I did move my white heart back behind the vellum heart, and I love that look. So it does kind of mute the white, I guess if you can even call it that, but it softens the whole effect. I almost think vellum serves as a filter, like one of those blurring or softening filters that you can use on social media. And that is how I look at it for card making. So adding the white behind helps make the florals and the greetings we're going to add on top stand out from the busy background, while still giving it that soft little blur because the vellum's on top. But because the vellum is on top, it's going to be tricky to figure out where to put our adhesive. So what we need to do is attach our florals first, and probably our sentiment, so that we can hide our liquid adhesive back behind all of these solid pieces. I'm going to take greetings from the Lots of Hugs stamp set, and I am going to again keep consistent with my colors. I'm going to stamp Sending with the Taffy ink, and I use the smaller of the two banners that are in this stamp set. And then I've picked one of the cursive hugs, and I am going to stamp that first with Carnation. And then we're going to ink up just the bottom portion of the word hugs with taffy to do a little ombre. So there's not a harsh line, I'm going to take my ink blending brush and dull that a little bit, and look how beautiful that is. I'm going to go ahead and take a card base now, and there is a fantastic little stamp set in the December release called Inside Greetings Celebration, which is going to just add a perfect little inside sentiment. I'm going to stamp that with taffy for the inside of the card, and my stamping really is done at this point. I can cut apart my lots of hugs dies and die cut the word hugs and the banner. And I love that the word hugs, the die cuts close around the sentiment. Look at that. There are 2 cursive sentiments, and both of the dies cut all the little cutout loop pieces, which I love. Okay, let's go ahead and start putting it all together, starting with the base of my card. I have not replaced the ATG gun tape. I still haven't bought any more for it because I'm just undecided. I'm going to use some Altenew sticky tape here. This is really super sticky. I like it because it's sticky and things stay put. What I don't like is there's not the ease of a tape runner. But I'm not sold on that ATG gun, so that is what I've been using lately, is some Altenew. And now I'm going to lay my white heart back behind the vellum heart just kind of for placement, and I'm going to start assembling. And I want to show you, look how it looks with the white on top as opposed to the white back behind. And the white back behind, to me, it just creates that blur or that kind of soft filter. I'm going to use tweezers to hold on to these little delicate stems, add some liquid glue, and then start gluing them kind of over to the left side of this big heart. And I'm purposely not adding adhesive up the top and the bottom, kind of leaving them a little bit loose. I'm going to use my sentiments as a guide to help direct me where that's going to go. I accidentally dropped my pen on the floor that went in my bottle. Actually, it sprang and disappeared and I did not find it. So I'm going to grab another one. I'm sure it will show up at some point. And here are my little stems. You could do more. I only used 3, but I honestly think maybe a couple more would have been really cute. I would love to do like a whole vase full of these. And then we're going to glue the blooms down to the top of each of these beautiful stems. And you'll notice that because I didn't glue the entire stem down, I'm able to layer some back behind and some in front. It gives you a little bit more freedom to layer things more naturally. And I accidentally dropped that, so I had to trim off part of the top of that stem. It was a little too long. I'm going to glue a couple of the leaves down. I did go ahead and go back and die cut some additional leaves and ink them here near the end to add and kind of fill in with a little more greenery. And I'm still using the hugs as a guide to know where I want everything to go. I'm going to use the tip of my tweezers to kind of help move and position those. And we're just going to put a little glue on the vellum and layer that right over the white heart. And now we've hidden our glue. I will add a little glue back behind where the words go as well, just to secure the right side. But I love how the sentiment is going to overlap part of the florals. It's so pretty. I just love this heart like this. And the banner I'm going to have overlap and part of the sentiment and then go under another part of the sentiment. And we'll use an acrylic block sitting on top to help hold everything down nice and flat while the liquid glue is drying. I'm going to put a little glue then on the back of the white heart, and we can position that right where we want it to go. There is a little flower center that I'm going to ink with charcoal positively saturated ink. I will die cut 2 additional flower centers and ink those up with charcoal ink, and then add those to the center of our flowers to kind of finish them off. You could also use pearls or other gemstones, sequenced Nouveau crystal drops to the center of your flowers if you prefer. And then I've got a couple of extra leaves that I'm going to ink up really quick with aspen and pine positively saturated inks. And then we're going to add those to our card design. And that is going to be it for our card. Super quick and easy, but with lots of different elements. I love creating my own backgrounds. I love the magic of vellum, how it instantly just adds the perfect finishing touch to almost any card design. It really is magic when you add it to any card, because you can see through it, but it just blurs everything enough to soften the effect. So I kind of call it the paper crafting filter, the magical paper crafting filter. We're going to add that last little leaf. And once our glue is all dry, I will flip my card over and trim off that little extra piece of heart hanging off the edge so it fits in the envelope perfectly. And here is our finished card design. So pretty, so fun, and the perfect card for almost any occasion. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. The supplies I used are listed and linked below the video here on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining me today for another paper crafting tutorial. I love being able to share with this incredible community of crafters. I want to give a huge shout out and special thank you to my amazing Patreon members. If you're interested in joining Patreon, please click the link in the description underneath the video here on YouTube. Patreon is a private community where you can support more of what I do. There's exclusive content. You'll receive a handmade birthday card from me during your birthday month, monthly lives for my top tier patrons, and more. We would love to have you join our growing community. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my channel, click the like button, and don't forget to click the notification bell so you're always notified when I have a video or go live. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you again next time.